Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I'm here for shopping. I want to show you something because it's what I think is going on. Now this was the CVS, remember, the full-size store. And they have a sign up trying to sell the building. I'm not promoting anything, I'm not recommending. See, MPV, whoever they are, this is available. But what I want to show you is this. What I've noticed this year, despite all the negative stuff about the economy, now this is going to be a contradictory message. I live on 64, and every day I see things like this go by the house. Now they obviously are parking it here for some reason. It's not a big deal heavy duty, but it's got a shovel in front of it down below for scraping and digging, like a ditch witch. Never heard of the brand, Jan Mar. Now, I've shown you videos as I've gone by. Now let me point the card. If I were to go about 5 miles in that direction to the next county line, just after that, there's literally a $1 billion construction project for a semiconductor plant. Wolfspeed. And guess what I read yesterday? Wolfspeed has a problem with debt and business drop-off. It's a big company. They're headquartered in Cary. I remember when they started making the substrates for LED lights. They went, wow, it was really something. Well, now they're called Wolfspeed, and they're on the verge of bankruptcy. And there's a $1 billion construction site 5 to 6 miles from here to build a major Wolfspeed plant. I'm not saying anything needs to make sense. I'm just saying that's what's going on. And these diggers and stuff aren't all associated with the Wolfspeed $1 billion construction site, but I think they are other things that are happening in the expectation that the Wolfspeed plant, when it's open, will go for new workers, high-skilled workers going to come in. They're going to be buying new houses somewhere between there and here, which is all out in the country. Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. Let's go see the Wolfspeed plant. Let's see if it's busy or if they take Sunday off. This is Ramseur. Give you a feeling for what things look like around here. This is a nice small town. It was founded in, what, 1895? It's a latecomer. Now, I'll make a remark. If you go down onto the business section of Ramseur, which is not that big, you can tell that the town really was founded around 1895, and the business section for regular kind of housing didn't really get started until maybe 1900 or after. And how do I know? if you were to go straight ahead to Siler City, which was already a town before that, since the Civil War, and you were to go to the main street where the main shopping built up as the, you'll see a certain style of brick row, shop row. Brick shop row. That's one typical business on Main Street in a small town America, built in the 1890s. And whether it was up north in my hometown or down here, they all followed essentially the same architecture. And whether you were in Siler City and looking at their shop row on Main Street, brick buildings and the banks and so on, and you were to look in my hometown up north, you would see virtually no difference. But if you go to the main street of Ramseur, you don't see that. You see standalone, separate businesses, and it's not because it was a small town. It's because it was the commercial Main Street was developed in the 1920s. And you see styles change. Even, now look to the right, look to the right, look to the right. What are they doing here? There's something being constructed off the road to the right. Why would that be? Look at the cones. Can you just see over it? Look to the right. Look to the right. Look to the right. You see why there was that heavy equipment there? They're doing something up there. What are they doing? That's where the utilities run. That they may have already started the water pipeline. Oh, I'm glad I came here. This is the water pipeline. It's on the correct side of the road. They've started the water pipeline. Out by my place, they're going to run by the front of my property. Look at it. They've been working on the water pipeline here. Look to the right. What's the water pipeline for? To get water from Randleman Lake down through Asheboro over to Business 64, Business 64 and then 64. Look at it, they've been doing it here. I haven't been out this way in a while. See the equipment? That's what this is. Now I'm going to go past. We're getting close. We're getting close to the county line. Oh, look at it. They've been digging here. This is the water pipeline. I wondered which end they were going to start digging from. It's either the water pipeline or some preparation for it. Okay, now, we're coming up to the county line real soon. The guy that owns that business there to the left, he's got the small grain silos now. He's specializing in that. He specialized in gas pumps. They're still over there. And before that, he specialized in cars that were abandoned on farms in the 30s and 40s. Look at the construction equipment to the left. That metal thing that's standing there is for trenching. People get down in the trench. I'm wondering if the water pipeline crosses the road. It would have to in order to, at some point, in order to feed the Wolfspeed. We're coming up to the Wolfspeed thing real soon. I'm going to change lanes. I'm not blocking faster traffic. Notice that there's been no digging on the right side, but there was digging before on the left side for utilities all the way to the county line for the Wolfspeed. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the county line. Here's the county line. You can tell by the change in the road. The Wolfspeed's right there on the left. I'm wondering if they have a front gate that they close. If they don't, I'm going to go in. I want to give you a feeling for how big this project is. Now, 2 years ago when I would go to the lake, I'd come along here and they were burying these sewer lines and water lines coming from Siler City. And I couldn't at that time understand, why are they doing that? There's only farms out here. There's only farms, and what I didn't know, I hadn't been keeping up. They already knew about the Wolfspeed thing, and there had been big contracts, and they were improving the city facilities all the way out to Wolfspeed, because they were a necessity for what Wolfspeed would be. See, this is made for a turnaround. Now I'm going to do another turnaround in order to show you. If I can't go in, I'm going to do another turnaround to show you how big the Wolfspeed plant is. Okay, that gate is closed. What is this guy? This guy has the same idea I do. See Wolfspeed? Do you see it? And no, you can't go in. It's been torn up so you can't. Okay. Let me go here. Wolfspeed entrance number 1. This is a new road. I've never been here. Okay, that gives me what I want. See all the older buildings to the right here? I don't know what they were. Those were older buildings for something. They all got air conditioning things on each of the rooms. But look to the right. Whitting, Turner. I'm not promoting anything. I'm recommending. Wolfspeed Look at it, folks. Look at that big glass front. Look how the building extends to the right. And look past the orange things up there to how big that plant is up there. And there's multiple skyscraper things there. Look how far back it goes. I'm not going in. I'm not going to try to go in. They got a guardhouse. Wolfspeed. Look straight ahead. Look how big that is. I said $1 billion project. Are you doubting it now? Let's go up for the deliveries. Just for the fun of it. This is a public highway, folks. I'm outside their fence. I'm outside their fence. Now I understand why those other entranceways, which are the construction entranceways, were closed. And that's because the site is essentially either brought to a halt for a reason or nearly completed. There's a guardhouse here too. Gate number 2, deliveries. They're going to be making semiconductor substrates, advanced versions of the stuff that the company started with in Cary, North Carolina, back around 2000, when LED lights were just starting to be accepted in the marketplace, and they needed that special carbide substrate that glows, that they put other stuff on and then it glows, instead of an incandescent lamp, that you can get the equivalent number of lumens for about a quarter of the power. The company took off. I forget what the name of it was. It wasn't called Wolfspeed. It's the same company. Now they're into building $1 billion plant out here. Come to North Carolina. We're big in poultry. We're big in swine. We're big in soybeans. We're big in wood. We're big in semiconductors. We're big in electronics and software. We do everything. North Carolina. I'm glad I did this because it even surprised me. I was wondering if I could get in the front entrance of the Wolfspeed because it's Sunday and I got a surprise. And as I said, what I read just a day or two ago is that right now, because of the economy and whatever else, the Wolfspeed company itself is in some kind of financial straits. So here's the county line. You saw the change in the road. I think the water pipeline starts on the right side of the road and is going to do a switch over somewhere around just ahead. I think they've already started to either prepare the bed at this end because there may be substrate problems like bedrock, or they've already started burying the water line, but from this end. And I'll repeat again, what's the water line going to do? This could be just improvement of the side of the road, but I think it's more than that. I think they've been, all right, they've been digging here, but we don't see it on the other side. Let's follow it. The Craftsman plant, which makes industrial trailers, it's just like they've already started the water line here. See it to the right? This is what we saw on the other side just up ahead. The water line originally is going to be 21 inches, but the lead engineer indicated to me that they might make it a couple more inches larger diameter. So they still have been digging on the right side. There sure has been a lot of digging all along here on the right side. Coming up to that Strawberry intersection, if you go up at that intersection, if you turn right and go north, you go to Staley, which is where there's a chicken slaughtering plant. See, they've been burying something here, folks. See that thing there? That's for trenching, so people can go into the trench. Let's see where the switchover is. They may not have gone under the road yet. Let's see where the switchover is. They haven't been digging here, but they got the cones there. The left side of the road looks like that's a farmer's field. There, to the left. There. And look at the, did you see that old carriage? Have you been looking at the guy on the right? I met him once. Okay, we just, what I'll call the Staley interchange, and if you turn right, you go down to a very well-known country church. I'm trying to think, something Crossroads Church. It's beautiful down there. Okay, so now I've seen a couple of things. Aren't you glad you came with me? Life is full of surprises. Things just happen. That's right, things just happen. I'm going to see if I can find a map of the proposed route of the water pipeline. I want to see if it crosses more or less under that intersection back there. If you turn north, you go to Staley. Oh, that's fiber optic to the right, if you didn't see it. They're still putting fiber optic out, apparently. You can't do everywhere at once. Isn't it beautiful here? We're just passing a cell tower on the left. Would you like to? Yeah, fiber optic. You see it down there? Okay, now that I've spotted that they've been, I believe, burying the water line. I didn't finish what I was saying about that. Apparently that industrial plant, Wolfspeed, needs more water than is available from Siler City. So they negotiated with several towns in Randolph County, which is this place. They will draw water from Randleman Lake, which actually is a reservoir both for Greensboro and for like Asheboro and the towns around here. But the water level has been such that they have excess water. I've been up and visited where the pipeline would tap into the southeastern edge of the lake, travel along by, I think it's 133, and then meet up with the interstate, follow the interstate down to Fresno, and then cut across the I-71 and 73 and follow Fresno out to what is now Business 64, just west of the beginning of the bypass for 64. I have to say it so carefully. I got to slow down. We're at a 35-mile-an-hour zone. And then follow the south side of the road along, like by my house, and through Ramseur, right through town, and continue on into the countryside to finally where, as I said, they have to cross the road somewhere, but it is going to be on the south side of the road. In our view now is on the left side of the road of this 64. And this is US 64, not Business 64. Before they built the bypass in Asheboro Edge, that whole new business section that built up along 64 that was the first bypass around Asheboro, it got so busy they had to, especially with the zoo traffic, they had to build yet another bypass. Yes, in the old days, US 64 used to go through Asheboro. At the dawn of history. Well, folks, this is it because I got to go shopping. That's actually why I came out of the house. But then my mind got distracted when I pulled into this place here and looked at that equipment sitting there in the lot over there that used to be a Walgreens. But the Walgreens is diagonally across the road and it's pharmaceuticals only. And none of the other consumer stuff. There's something I need to get. I think I can safely pull through. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to say this is Steve AB4L. Just pulled in for shopping. Saying, see, that's the new Walgreens. Saying, see you in 73.